I know what you're thinking, you never seen a Fiat 500 go so fast. You might be wondering how many children I sacrificed to create this monster. Normally I wouldn't share this secret, but since we're friends, I'll make an exception. In the world of Gran Turismo, modifying cars is a key part of the experience, unless you're an NPC. Upgrading your cars significantly improves their performance. However, there's an extra step in modifying cars which is impossible through normal means. This Fiat 500 is a hybrid. Simply put, a hybrid is a vehicle that has parts from different cars swapped into it. While these cannot be created through normal means, I am going to teach you how to create hybrids for Gran Turismo 4 in this video. First of all, we need a couple of tools which simplify the process. The best way to play Gran Turismo 4 these days is by using the PS2 emulator PCSX2, which is available on their website. I recommend downloading the latest nightly builds as they are uploaded almost daily. Once we have PCSX2 and GT4 running, we got some settings to change. The first step is to check your memory card settings and ensure they are saved as folders. If they aren't, you'll need to convert them by clicking on Convert, which will open a small dialog box. Once your memory cards are converted into folders, download Nenkai's Gran Turismo 4 save editor. There is a download link in the description. Make sure you get version 0.60. Once you extracted the files on your PC, you will have to open your save. Head to the top left corner, click on File, then Load. Here, you'll need to find your memory card directory, which can be found on PCSX2. Finding your save file can be confusing if there are additional files like replays stored. Typically, it is in a folder named Bascus, followed by your copy's region code, which can be located in PCSX2. For example, my folder is called Bascus/97436 game data. Once you find it and open your save file, you will see its data displayed on the save editor. Now head to Garage and then edit car. You'll see a set of numbers known as part IDs. Each car has its own parts with corresponding IDs. To access this, you must follow these instructions. To find car part IDs, download SQLite Studio, then open the corresponding database file from the databases folder. So our first step is downloading SQLite Studio, and once you have it installed, open the corresponding database regarding the origin of your copy. In order to open a database in SQLite, you must head to the top left corner and click on Database, then click on Add a Database, or you can drag and drop them into SQLite. If you wish to know the directory of each database, click on Databases folder in your Save Editor tab. Once this database is loaded, it will appear on the left of your screen, where you can choose and find the appropriate parts. What you need are these numbers displayed under row ID, as these numbers represent each individual part. As an example, I'll select the Camaro C28 engine with the ID code 1414. I'll copy this number and paste it in the engine field, replacing the original engine of my current car. Once these are done, you can close the Edit Car tab. However, make sure to save your changes before closing the editor, or they won't be completed. In order to save them, click Save on the top left corner. Find your folder once again, select it, and overwrite your save. Once this is done, all changes should be saved. While the process is relatively simple, making sense of all the stats shown on SQLite is almost impossible, which is why I'm giving you a small guide on the most relevant ones so you can build your hybrids. In Gran Turismo 4, the core handling stats of each car are determined by its chassis. These have a series of stats which help us comprehend the handling of each car. The most important stat is Performance F and Performance R, but you might know this as grip modifiers. What are grip modifiers? Basically, they are a chassis stat that resembles mechanical grip, and higher grip modifiers means better response while turning and more grip at your disposal while exiting corners. It also has an effect on tire wear, as higher grip modifiers will increase their lifespan. Percentage F is weight distribution, translated to English. This number represents how much of the car's weight is placed over the front axle. If we take this Alfa Romeo 147 GTA as an example, it has a percentage F stat of 55, meaning its weight distribution is 55 front, 45 rear. Said weight pushes the wheels of this Alfa into the road, allowing it to grip. Front-wheel drive and all-wheel drive cars benefit from having more weight over the front axle, allowing them to turn into corners slightly easier. However, a heavier car will struggle to move under its own power, while suffering from worse handling and higher tire wear. A lighter car will always perform better since there's less weight to move around. Yaw is a stat which can be interpreted as a car's turning ability. A car with a higher yaw stat will feel less responsive while turning. This stat tends to be tied to to the overall weight of the car, as it can be reduced by applying weight reduction, and lighter cars have a lower yaw modifier by default. Next up we got front and rear stiffness. This is a stat which represents the turning radius of each car. A car with higher stiffness will experience more resistance under turning. This seems to affect older cars more than anything else, as they have the highest turning resistance modifiers. Another chapter on GT4's crusade against older cars. It is also worth noting that chassis stats affect the way tires look. This is a mere side effect. However, tire swaps are possible by replacing their IDs. You can pick any tire compound you might need. Usually this is recommended as wider tires improve grip and have lower wear. Now we move into drivetrain parts, which have an effect on drivability. Gran Turismo 4 emulates power loss through a single stat, I wheel F and I wheel R. This is drivetrain inertia. The lower this stat is, the better the car manages to put its power into the tarmac. I prop F and I prop R is propeller inertia, similar to drivetrain inertia but applies specifically to cars equipped with drive shafts. Another stat which is affected by drivetrain is engine braking, determined by the engine brake stat. Finally, a name which makes sense. This is a concept which works in real life as well. However, this stat also affects shifting timing. The higher it is, the faster your car will shift into the following gear. All drivetrain stats can be enhanced with their respective upgrades. However, these improvements have a side effect of increased tire wear. The next group of stats is found under the Racing Modify category. First, we have CL Max F and CL Max R, which indicate the downforce stat. While most production cars lack downforce, racing cars do have it, and we can apply their downforce stats to any car by changing this ID. It is worth noting that Racing Modify also controls the drag coefficient of each car, simply called CD in SQLite. Thank God, another stat which makes sense. The ideal setup is a car with high downforce and low drag, as higher drag reduces both acceleration and top speed. I found these stats to be the most confusing when trying to improve a car's performance. Many might be curious about engine swaps, but they are relatively straightforward. Simply change the IDs in the save editor to match the engine you want to swap in. However, it is important to note that some issues may arise if the car is already modified, so I recommend creating your hybrids with a new car. Additionally, if you swap parts that haven't been purchased, they won't appear in the list, and for transmissions and adjustable parts, you won't be able to make any adjustments. You can adjust YouTube's algorithm by smashing the like button, so more people can find this tutorial along with my channel. At the same time, I am trying to reach 10,000 subscribers. I will appreciate if you could subscribe so you don't miss any future videos. Now that we comprehend what makes different cars work in Gran Turismo 4, I'll show you some examples of hybrids I have created. Usually these are associated with cars which can only be imagined after consuming more coke than these three put together, but there's more to life than hallucinations. Gran Turismo 4 features a variety of cars with some questionable developer choices, particularly regarding rally cars. These vehicles, designed for dirt and snow surfaces with lower grip than tarmac, often struggle for traction. This is due to the relatively low grip modifiers of most rally cars, typically around 100 for both axles, resulting in average performance on tarmac and subpar performance on dirt and snow. The only rally car with good grip modifiers is the Mitsubishi Lancer Evolution Super Rally Car 03, a fictional variant based off the Evo 8 because Mitsubishi was financially struggling and the real rally cars were atrocious. However, in the game, this is the best rally car available, at least among those classified as such. In Subaru's new car dealership, you can find the Subaru Impreza Sedan WRX STI Spec C Type 2 for sale. This car is a bargain compared to most rally cars and can be easily purchased as your second car in any playthrough. It has similar grip modifiers to the Lancer Super Rally car, with slightly wider tires and higher downforce thanks to a GT wing. This makes it a monster on both tarmac and rally events, making these events much easier. Aside from the usual penalties, what did I touch? Its shadow? While the performance of Group A cars generally makes sense with some exceptions, looking at Yuto Celica, there is a group of cars which have been humiliated by polyphony. These are the Group B cars, once the fastest rally cars in the world, but GT4 has significantly handicapped them. Take the Peugeot 205 Turbo 16 Evolution 2, for example. With grip modifiers of 95 on both axles and narrow tires, the 205 struggles on rally stages, driving like a tank and making laps on Tahiti Maze a painful experience as it tries its best to keep up with the Delta S4. You might expect better performance was on a faster track, but its low downforce prevents that. Most production cars can equip a GT wing, providing a maximum downforce stat of 30 on each axle. In contrast, rally cars are limited to a downforce stat of 13 on the front axle and 18 on the rear axle, which is inadequate. This might be somewhat understandable for Group A rally cars, which lack major aerodynamic modifications, but for later Group E cars like the 205, known for their outrageous wings, this is unacceptable. So, what are my options to upgrade the 205 while maintaining balanced performance? The first step is to improve overall grip by fitting wider tires. Although specific information isn't available, Gran Turismo 4 equips the 205 Evo 2 with 250mm tires on the front and 260mm on the rear, which seem quite narrow. Therefore, I began searching for a set of wider tires. Surprisingly, the widest dirt and snow tires available in GT4 come from an unlikely source, the Nike One 2022. Cars are on your thing, and clothes aren't either, so allow me to steal these tires and put them on my 205. These tires are 350mm wide. Now yes, these tires are an exaggeration, but they are required for our experiment. I did some testing laps on Grand Canyon, a notoriously complex and tight track where handling is vital. A stock Peugeot 205 Evolution 2 can achieve a time of 2 minutes, 32 seconds and 700 milliseconds. After swapping its tires, the 205 managed to complete a lap 1 second faster, give or take. It is a small difference overall, and driving confirms these thoughts. The next step to improve this French hatchback is fixing its atrocious downforce, so we need to change its racing modify ID. Now, considering a GT wing will give you 30-30 downforce, I decided to give this 205 a downforce stat of 30 on the front and 50 on the rear. There are multiple cars with these numbers, but I borrowed the racing modify from this RE Amemia RX-7. I am not saying its complete name, it's just too long. While downforce doesn't have a significant impact at crawling speeds, it becomes crucial in all other situations. To test this, I took the 205 out from hell and into Cathedral Rocks 1. This circuit provides a mix of slow and fast sections. With both wider tires and improved aerodynamics, the modified 205 achieves a time of 1 minute, 42 seconds and 102 milliseconds, which is 3 seconds faster than a stock 205, give or take. While these adjustments only slightly enhance handling, I find them to be a reasonable compromise. They reflect the character of this car, which is meant to be challenging to drive. However, if a balanced experience isn't your aim, a chassis swap can transform the 205 into a true monster. I combined my previous upgrades with one of the best chassis available in GT4, the Audi R8, which coincidentally has a similar weight to the 205. This swap highlights the importance of grip modifiers, as the 205 shattered its previous records by a substantial margin. Its best time on Tahiti Maze goes from a 2 minutes, 17 seconds and 741 milliseconds for a stock 205 to 2 minutes, 8 seconds and 459 milliseconds. This is a track where speed is almost irrelevant, as it's purely composed of tight corners. The car has now near infinite grip, making rally courses a breeze, and even snow tracks effortless. Now that's a happy Peugeot. Another car that has fallen victim to Polyphony's questionable decisions is the Chiseta V16T, a vehicle which both I and this channel share some story. I first encountered this 80s powerhouse during my 100% randomizer livestreams last year. Yes, I also stream on this same YouTube channel you are watching right now. There's hundreds of hours of content under my livestreams and most people aren't aware of them. I was surprised by the Chiseta's poor handling, and it took me hours to understand this car, which eventually inspired me to make a video about it. While my setup was decent, I wasn't aware that the main issue with the Chiseta was caused by an oversight. It was given downforce modifiers of 0 on the front and 20 on the rear. This imbalance results in constant understeer, as the rear of the Chiseta has more grip, making rotation difficult and causing it to lose a significant amount of speed through each corner. My job is relatively simple in this case. I must fix its broken downforce stat by swapping a different racing mod ID. Although this makes it look like a toy car, I chose a modification that didn't alter its drag stats to closely approximate its intended performance. Curiously, it belongs to the 1968 Nissan Fairlady, which causes those wonky tires. After testing my new creation for a couple of laps, it managed to complete a lap on Grand Valley with a time of 2 minutes, 1 second and 949 milliseconds, while a stock variant managed to complete the same lap in 2 minutes, 3 seconds and 649 milliseconds. Eliminating rear downforce improves the Giseto's drivability, allowing it to rotate better into corners. However, it will never be a great handling car. Despite being a mid-engine vehicle, the V16T has a 40-60 weight distribution, making it behave more like a rear-engine car, with a tendency to understeer at both low and high speeds. Its weight doesn't help, and neither its mediocre grip modifiers, or its high drag stat, which handicaps top speed, or its high yaw stat paired with slow shifting. Look, you get the picture, it's not a good car. Then again, it isn't meant to be one, so I consider it has been fixed. There are more vehicles that Polyphony has overlooked. One car that has been consistently misrepresented across multiple Gran Turismo entries is the Lister Storm V12 race car. For one, the Lister Storm is much heavier than it ever was, weighing at 1,438 kilograms. Although accurate figures are scarce, its actual weight seems to be around 1,100 to 1,200 kilograms. This weight increase has unfortunate consequences, making the Storm much slower than it should be. While it manages to beat JGTC cars in top speed, its handling is atrocious, and so is tire wear. Those front mediums might as well be sub. This is also due to its lower grip modifiers of 95. It seems Polyphony treated the Storm as a street car, which doesn't make any sense. Luckily for us, all of the Lister's issues can be solved with a single modification, a chassis swap. To maintain its weight distribution, I searched for a race car with similar stats. I didn't want to go below the Lister's real weight or alter its weight distribution, considering it has a 7-liter V12 in the front. After searching through different candidates, I came across the Panos Esperante GTR1. It has the same weight distribution and weighs 1,150 kilograms. Additionally, it offers a slightly higher grip modifiers of 100 for the front axle and 102 for the rear. After cutting two rare race cars, it is time for some testing. A stock Lister Storm completes a lap on Tokyo Route 246 in 1 minute, 37 seconds and 832 milliseconds. Meanwhile, the chassis swap Storm clocks a faster lap of 1 minute, 33 seconds and 610 milliseconds. Overall handling is significantly improved, as it no longer suffers from heavy understeer. Additionally, tire wear is slightly better due to its lower weight and higher grip modifiers, a complete package which outclasses JGTC cars with ease. This boost in performance made me curious, so I decided to face tougher competition. The Lister Storm arrived at Suzuka to challenge LMPs. Its 590 horsepower weren't enough, so I bought the Stage 3 NA upgrade before the race, an upgrade which doesn't require any editing. Honestly, it didn't stand a chance. Its stats are too low to compete with the fastest cars in GT4. It was a fun experiment that had to be done. While I did manage to turn the Lister Storm into a viable option for GT racing, it still falls into a strange grey area. It's too powerful against JGTC cars, but too slow against faster opponents, and it still suffers from high tire wear. Still, there are bigger problems ahead. The Yellowbird is one of the most confusing cars in Gran Turismo 4. One has to wonder what was of the life of the developer who typed these stats into the game. How did it end with 889 horsepower? Why nobody noticed, and why it wasn't fixed on later releases? To make it worse, the Vertigo was present on Gran Turismo 3, and its performance was closer to its real-life counterpart. All they did was reduce this car to a meme thanks to a simple oversight, as the entire car isn't prepared to handle these numbers. For one, grip modifiers are too low, and its tires are too narrow, which makes its tire wear to be really high. Its downforce stat is also really low for a race car, let alone one with 900 horsepower. Honestly, all of its issues are caused by this broken engine, which is why I tried to find a suitable swap. While it might be slightly more powerful than its real counterpart, I took the Alfa Romeo's 155 Ti DTM V6 as my swap, as the Vertigo used an Alfa Romeo derived V6 as its engine. Once again, considering the average street car receives a downforce stat of 30 on each axle after bolting a random, generic wing, I decided to increase its downforce stat by swapping its racing modify ID. Once again, Ordonor is the air Ria Memia RX-7, which provides a stat of 30 over the front axle and 50 on the rear. With these changes, the Vertigo becomes an excellent car. While its grip modifiers of 100 are average, it makes up by being a true lightweight. These traits are overshadowed thanks to its engine, but they are allowed to shine once that has been tamed. When it comes to the engine, the Alpha V6 is alright, but it does feel kind of lazy at higher speeds. Acceleration is pretty good on the lower ranges though. With these changes, I became curious and I decided to put it to the test with a bit of a challenge. The Gile Vertigo is notorious for always finishing last in the GT World Championship, and for good reason. I feel sorry for the AI that has to drive it. Now with my modifications, it is time to visit El Capitan for a quick race. With a promising first lap, reality sets in as the Pescarolo overtakes the rest of the grid and catches up to me at the start of the third lap. Despite my efforts, I can't hold one of the best cars in GT4, even on a circuit where I'm stronger than the AI, so I don't manage to claim first place. I was surprised by this car. Its tire wear is ridiculously low. All of my competitors have to pit because their tires are worn out, while mine are still in good shape. I can complete the entire race on the same set of racing hards. Unfortunately, the Pescarolo is about 40 seconds ahead, so even when it pits, I am too far away to overtake it. I finished the race in second place, which is still much better than the usual 6th place the Vertigo takes, and all of this was achieved with a car that has just 420 horsepower. I am pretty proud of this build. In the same way, I am proud of everyone who made the tools which simplify this process for us all. I also have to thank Takei for his help when it came to deciphering these confusing stats. If you want to see different examples of hybrid builds, I recommend visiting his channel. You won't be disappointed. With that said, I also thank my YouTube members, the Con family, and the Con Father, a title we grant to the person who gifts the most memberships each month. For June, our Con Father was Alex Johanning, who gifted 101 memberships. And then come my patrons. We thank them as follows: our amateur racers, professional racers, and world champions: Lane Dev, See What Happens Racing UK, Tsundere Kiseli, Enzo Lassunieri, Hunter Kaufman, Josh Pig, Lonnie Murray, Tyscom, Espriel, Scott Miller, and Dotsyke. If you want to join these wonderful people, you can do so at www.patreon.com/YellowbirdYT or following the link in the description. I make videos and stream for a living, so your support is invaluable to me. I cannot thank you enough for your support and patience. With that said, I hope to see you soon, either on my next stream or video. If you haven't left a like, now's your last chance to do so, or your dislike if you didn't find any of my research useful. Take care and bye for now.